Dan Bowman, we've been flying your simulator here over the past few minutes, and it's an interesting machine in that what you're building is really an interface and an input device that'll work on almost any flight simulator software. Tell us a little bit about your concept and what you're doing here.
Okay. With Microsoft and a few others stopping support for the newer Windows versions and so forth, we looked at coming up with a simulator input device that if you had an old XP machine with the European theater or the Pacific theater airplanes or whatever you were comfortable flying, all you need is two USB plug-ins. Plug this unit in and you can fly your old software on your XP machine, or you can download Steam, who bought the rights to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and run it on 8.1 or Windows 10.
So what was the concept for doing basically a full motion simulator that will interact with these older software devices?
There's about 485,000 pilots. The majority are the baby boomer generation. We're all slowly but surely marching towards old age. I've volunteered at Sun and Fun for many years. I'm co-chairman of Homebuilt Corner. One of the biggest things that all my older friends who couldn't fly anymore have told me was, I miss the feeling of free flight. So what we tried to accomplish is to give someone a very reasonably cost simulator that they can actually feel like they're in free flight. You wrote it, so you can tell me what you think.
Well, yeah, it does. It does have a good airplane feel, and I was impressed with the amount of motion that it had. You said there are a lot of adjustments on it so that the end user can really customize and tailor it to their specific likes in an airplane.
That is true. You can tweak the pivot points to where they're a little stiffer or a little looser. You can adjust whatever software program you're using for the quickness of response or slow the response down of the particular aircraft that you want to fly.
What about a more commercial application? Is this a device that might find itself in a flight school somewhere for somebody to have a really low-cost simulator to be able to help out in that situation?
This would be perfect for flight schools. Basically what you're wanting to do with a new student is get them used to the picture out the windscreen, scanning the instruments, and having the actual feel in the seat of their pants of how an airplane reacts.
Is there an audio interface as well? Because one of the things that I did notice is that when I made power adjustments, I didn't get that audio feedback that I would normally get from hearing an engine.
Well, yes, we're using monitors. You can plug in a headset with a microphone. You can, whatever your software will allow you to do, whether it's X-Plane, Steam, Microsoft Flight Simulator, or any of the older programs. You can also use a full immersion goggle. I have an older version, a 920 version from Vuex that actually you can full immerse.
What about for somebody who doesn't have an old XP machine lying around? For somebody who's perhaps a MacBook Pro user that doesn't have that older software?
Well, MacBook Pro, I think you can still buy X-Plane and Steam Flight Simulator and others that'll work on the Mac. So whatever your operating system, you can find a simulation to buy and load onto it if you don't have one.
Now, you said you developed this for the personal market, for guys who want to actually have something in their house that feels like an airplane. How much?
The show price here at the LSA Expo is $2,850. The unit is all aluminum except for the high-stress hinge point in the back and the pivot hinges.
What are the servos and such that you're using to get the full motion simulation?
That's a very good question. There are no hydraulics. There's no air cylinders, so you don't have to worry about hearing the swish swish of the air. And there are no servos or electric cylinders. This is a patented human interface system. It uses you, the pilot, to make it fly.
So basically, as you move the controls, that's what's controlling the motion of the simulator.
That is correct. This is so sensitive, and you notice that if you over control, it'll actually start to oscillate like a real airplane. And it will also give you the feeling where you have to lead into your turns. It's not like a desktop where you just turn the joystick and it turns. You actually have to lead this into the turn like you do a real airplane.
Well, good. Well, Dan, thanks very much. I know that we're in here where it's a little bit warmer and mostly out of the wind at Sebring for this week. Hope you're having a great show.
Thank you.
Aero-TV is brought to you by...
Since 2001, MGL Avionics has produced avionics for experimental and light sport aircraft. The flagship product is the IEFIS, a comprehensive next-generation flight, engine, and navigation instrument designed to meet the demands of the modern pilot. See more at www.mglavionics.com.
Based on the popular Sling 2 LSA, the Sling 4 was designed to be the most practical and desirable lightweight four-place experimental aircraft on the market. Find out more about this 115 horsepower turbocharged airplane at airplanefactory.com.